It's me, I'm C, and this is Kickback Astrology. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Alright, I'm sorry, I quit. But you know what time it is. Grab your guards, grab your woodies, grab your glasses, do what you need to do. Kick back how you kick back. I'ma kick back how I kick back. And let's get into some of these birth charts. Come on with it. So next I'll do Miss Lauryn Hill. Everything is everything. You know what time it is. Do Sun, Moon, and Venus for women, Sun, Moon, and Mars for men. Miss Lauryn Hill was born on May 26, 1975, in East Orange, New Jersey. So if you want to type it in, do your thing. So we'll start with her sun in Gemini. So with Lauryn Hill being a Gemini, what do we know of Gemini? Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is a planet, it's a quick planet, it's a fast planet, it's about go, go, go. Mercury is all about the details of things. Mercury is all about those small, fine points that people may overlook. Mercury is all about those kinds of things. Mercury is your reflexes, you know. How quick can how quick can you catch a ball? Hand-eye coordinate. Mercury is that. So, with that being the ruler of Miss Lauryn Hill, she's going to have very mental energy with her. She's a very mental person. That's why you see her expressing so many ideas all of the time, because that's what she's doing. That's who she is. She is an idea. Like, that's how air signs are. But with her being a Gemini and being ruled by Mercury, that's just going to speed things up. It's going to speed things up. So her mind probably runs 1,000 miles per hour. She probably has 100 different ideas in a day, and figure out which ones to keep and which ones to let go. And she does this through communication, because Mercury is communicative sign. Mercury is all about talking. Remember, your Mercury is how you speak, how you communicate. So that's what's ruling her. So she's going to talk about all of these ideas. She's going to express them, and she's going to take the information that she gathers, and then she's going to be able to, figure out what to keep and what to let go. And Gemini is also a mutable sign. And with Gemini being a mutable sign, that means she's liable to change at any moment. She's able to change. She knows how to adapt to any situation. So that's why I said, when she does communicate these ideas and bounce them off of people, when she gets that feedback from them, she's able to take that and she's able to adapt her thought process. Now, she may not change it, but she's able to adapt. You see what I'm saying? Because she's immutable, so she's not going to necessarily stay fixed in one set idea or one set way of doing things. She may try 20 different ways of doing the same thing, and then through what she gets back, she'll figure out, like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. Okay, this is what I need to be doing. So she is always thinking, she's always processing, she's always learning. So every situation in life is probably just a learning circumstance for her. That's probably how she sees, okay, I learned something, or I didn't learn anything, and let's move on. She's probably not going to dwell on things or anything like that. She's just going to process it and move on. She's constantly picking up new information, processing it, picking up more information, processing that, picking up more. That's just how the Gemini mind works. So that's why people get frustrated with Gemini, because they'll have one idea and they'll be expressing it to you with so much passion and, really belief in what they're saying, but then they'll do the same thing the next day with a completely opposite idea. And it's because they're trying to figure out what is what through communication. That's what they're doing. So they just chit chatting with everybody. They're running around talking to everyone. But you also have to remember, Gemini is in the first. It's in the first quadrant. So it's about self. It's not about the world. It's not about the partner. It's about the self. So they're using all of this mental energy and all of this communication to benefit the self. So this is why you have a lot of Geminis who communicate ideas that are not necessarily accepted by the masses, or they communicate controversial things, because they have that duality, so they can process both sides, and they're able to change, they're able to adapt within that. So that can confuse other people, because a Gemini, like I said, they're in the first quadrant, so they're not necessarily trying to apply it to the masses. They're letting you know where their thought process is at, and that's kind of what people get it twisted. They're letting you know where they're at, and they're feeding off that from the feedback that they get in the communication. Then they'll be able to process it and figure it out. But they're not just, automatically trying to appease people when they're speaking. They're thinking out loud. Like, that's what you have to think when you think of a Gemini, like just thinking out loud. And all of your thoughts aren't going to be politically correct. All of your thoughts aren't going to make sense initially. You see what I'm saying? So this is where people can kind of get confused with Gemini or get frustrated with Gemini, because it's like you're expressing all these things, you're rubbing people the wrong way, and then you don't even stick to it. Like, then you move on to the next idea or the next concept, or you figure something else out, and you're on a totally different plane, and you've gotten all these people riled up over that idea when you moved on. You were just thinking out loud. Gemini. And like I said, it's not about the world or the other. So they're literally just taking their first thought and they're communicating it to you. They're not adjusting it. They're not doing any of that. And that rawness is what can appeal to some people, but that can also rub some people the wrong way, because it'll change just that quick, and that can rub people the wrong way. But a lot of people can respect the fact that you are able to communicate. Like a Gemini is able to communicate well many different ideas, and you'll think they're an expert in all of them, but really they're a jack of all trades, master of none. You see what I'm saying? But they're so well educated, and they know so much of the small details, and they're so well read, or they've, watched the documentary. However they chose to take in that information, they have so much information, and they're able to communicate so well that they can convey it in a way. They can convey a message. A Gemini can give a message, and that's the best part of a Gemini. That's why people love Gemini, because they can convey a message well. However, with them being in the first quadrant, this is their thought process. This is how they're thinking. So if their idea doesn't agree with the overall, the overall concept or whatever's the accepted idea at the time, if it doesn't agree with that, it doesn't matter to a Gemini. This is where I'm coming from, and that's where the issue can come in with a Gemini and other people, because it's like you don't even care what anybody else thinks. You're just all in your head and what you think and your ideas, and you're just bouncing ideas off of people and all of this, and you're not even sticking to it. And it's like, dang, what are you doing? Like, how you look? That's what people look at Gemini like, bro, what are you doing? Which direction are you going today? I'm gonna need for you to pick one. Like, straight up. But you have to understand, that's not how the Gemini mind works. Geminis can also be very creative, and when a Gemini creates, it's from a very personal place, because remember I told you Gemini lies in the first quadrant of the zodiac wheel, so it's about self. So they're giving to you you see what I'm saying? They're giving from themselves. It's theirs. They're not taking it from someone else. They're not collaborating. They're trying to give you something of themselves, like a piece of them, or they're trying to spread a specific message. That's usually what it is with Gemini. They're trying to spread a specific message. They're trying to give you a certain idea. Whether that idea, is agreeable or not, it could go either way, but that's what they're trying to do. They have a message that they're trying to present, and they can find a multitude of different ways, because remember I told you Mercury is very quick, and it's very mental, so they could think of a multitude of different ways to present their message to you, whether that's through music, through comedy, that's why you see Geminis in those different avenues where they're still communicating, but there are different forms of communication. Look at some of the most diverse talents that we have. Jamie Foxx, Gemini, sings, everything else. Sing, comedian, actor, everything else. Those are the Geminis of the world. Like, look at even Miss Lauryn Hill. She was an actress. We knew her from Sister Act. She was a rapper. She was a singer. She played instruments. They do a multitude of things. That's Gemini way. You should expect that when you're dealing with a Gemini. They're gonna have a bunch of different things going on. That's just how their mind works so fast. They have to have that stimulation, and that stimulation has to come in different forms, whether that's creative form, and then they'll have the word play, and then they'll have maybe their religious things that they're doing, and then it has to be that way though. They have to have all of those things going on for them to feel like stable. Like it may look hectic to you, but this is how it needs to be for them. It's not hectic, trust me. They got it. Don't if they have six things going on, let them have six things going on. Do not try to get them to bump it down to five or three. No, let them have that six. If it ain't doing them bad or bearing them down or weighing them down, let them have that. They need that. They need that stimulation, or they'll go and get off into some whole other stuff. Trust me. That's when you'll see like a lot of Geminis cheating and getting in relationships and cheating on them, and they'll get a job, they'll quit that job, they'll get a car, they'll lose that car, get another car. You'll see a Gemini doing all kinds of stuff. Like, they stay in one. Don't you need stability in your life? And yes, they do, but Geminis have to learn how to apply their energy in constructive ways, or else they'll be going through things like that where they keep changing cars and changing apartments and changing, you know what I mean, changing girlfriends, and keep getting with a girl and cheating on them because they haven't learned how to channel that energy into like a more creative, you know what I mean, outlet, or a more active outlet. But you'll see like Geminis who have found their passion and found something that they want to do, they're able to be a lot more stable. So that was part one of Miss Lauryn Hill's birth chart, all about her sun in Gemini. We got to see how she's able to have so many talents, how she's able to, rap and act and sing and, play instruments and everything else that has to do with her Gemini sun. We also got to see why she had a message in her music, you know. It has to do with her moon in Sagittarius as well, but that Gemini is definitely the messenger. She was definitely going to tell us something, not necessarily something we needed to know. May have been something controversial, but she was going to tell us something straight up and down. So, as always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you kick back with part two. Come on with it.